Hey there! My name is Cassandra Metcalf, and I am your friendly neighborhood audiobook narrator and audio engineer. So a lot of people have been asking about frequencies. They want to talk about frequencies and how you can apply your knowledge about frequencies to your voice in audiobooks and voiceover applications. So anytime we're talking about waves, whether it's sound waves or light waves, we're talking about energy. And when you're talking about frequency in sound waves, you're talking about how many waves pass a single point in a second. That is your frequency of waves, or your sound frequency. So how we perceive this with the human ear is that lower sounds, or sounds with a lower frequency, sound lower pitched to the human ear. The lowest that we can hear is 20 hertz, which doesn't really come across so much as a pitch in most cases as it does as a rumble in the human ear. And then on the high end of the spectrum, we can hear up to 20,000 hertz or 20 kilohertz. And this actually fades away pretty fast as we get older. By the time we're 30, we probably can't really hear above 14 kilohertz. And then that just kind of goes down as we get older in most cases, which is why with hearing loss, you lose the ability to hear like sibilants or some consonant sounds, and you'll tend to confuse like S's and TH sounds. That's because you're losing the higher frequencies. So the reason you need to know all of this whenever you're working with voiceover or with audiobook engineering is all you're working with for those recordings is voice, right? You're just working with dialogue, and you're just trying to make the dialogue sound as good as possible. But whenever you're recording your own voice, there are going to be a couple problems, right? You're not going to be able to capture it perfectly. We can try to eliminate as many reflections as possible. We can try to make the space sound as neutral as possible. But in the end, it's still science, and science is imperfect, and we're still trying to capture something the best that we can, and we're going to create problems. And that's why you need to know about EQ and frequencies. So you'll find that this varies a little bit between female voices and male voices. In general, everything on this chart you can kind of shift up by 100 to 1,000 hertz, depending on where you are in the chart, when you're dealing with female voices, just because our resonant boxes tend to resonate a little bit higher than male resonant chambers, right? That's just kind of how the body works and how sound works in the human body. So I hope that was super helpful. If you want more fun pro tips, or if you have any questions about audio, ask them in the comments and I'll try to cover them in my next live.